Week 16, so per league, there's probably 2 people that care about this.
Right.
What we're about to talk about.
Some people have those week 17 leagues. Yeah, you're right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, I'm one of them because I'm in the Super Bowl in both my leagues.
Oh, really? Both your leagues?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
So
not only did I win, I smoked both these leagues.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm in 2 finals. One of which I drafted. I had someone run, and one of which I'm running. But I have other leagues where like a high point still wins money. One league where it's cumulative points through week 17. The losers buy stakes. I'm still in the eating, not the buying.
Yeah, I saw that on your Twitter. I saw the movie from years ago where the guy was talking about, I don't want to buy steaks for these guys.
Well, that was the original thing that inspired our steak league. That was like the original steak league in the Hollywood league that I had a documentary on, and that was a little uglier. Ours is going to cost you about $300 because we split it 3 ways. That one, only one guy bought dinner for everybody. So the $600 dinner was just one guy. They got up to, when they started making more money, it was like $3,000. It was terrible what they had to spend.
That's bad.
But ours was like, it's like a $600 dinner, but the loser, the last place pays half, second to last pays a third, and third to last pays a sixth. And then 3 guys eat for free.
Oh, okay.
And it's, it's good. It's fun. It's fun to humiliate people by ordering a lot of shit and that they have to pay for it.
It's very NFL of you.
Yeah, it's just it's a good tradition.
Yes, very it's a hazing situation.
We get together. It's old friends, good times.
All right, so for the very few people that are looking for some takeaways for week 16, that's what you're here to do.
No, what I'm saying there's more than a few because they have a lot of side bets still going on.
All right. Atlanta, Detroit.
Atlanta, Detroit. I think Calvin Johnson's going to go nuts. And I don't just mean like his 100 yards he does every week. I think he's going to get like, 180 and a touchdown or 2.
Why?
Because I just think Atlanta is a little high on themselves now after the beating of the Giants, and Detroit's a little desperate, and they're going to be more refocusing by Detroit than Atlanta. It's in Detroit, on the surface that they like playing on. I think, it's not in Arizona with a tough defense. This is going to be a much better game. I mean, Stafford, I think, is very mediocre, don't get me wrong, but this is going to be a good fantasy game for him. And I think Detroit may even win outright. And, you obviously start your Roddy Whites and Julio Joneses and maybe Matt. Well, I mean, it's the finals for a lot of people.
How did Quiz Rogers do today?
Nothing much.
Okay. So I remember you saying starting him maybe this week. You said it on the video. I watched it. I watched it a few times and I was like, I even said, I was like, really? Weird.
I just meant like he might do something. But
right,
I wasn't
Yeah.
I've never been a big Quiz Rogers fan.
So you're starting all your starters.
That's going to be a decent over-under game, probably like 48 or something like that. Pretty high.
Yeah, I was so upset about this Detroit game, but I know Pettigrew was out. Did anybody do anything?
No, nobody did anything. I mean, Calvin had 120 yards.
Yeah. All right. Pittsburgh versus Cincy. Ben Roethlisberger, I don't particularly care for him, and he was fantastic. He looked good.
He was very good.
Yeah.
Until that pick 6 almost, that lost the game for them. And the guy made a good break on the ball.
But for almost like dying on the field 4 weeks ago.
Bullshit.
Whatever, aorta, almost punctured.
He's a tough dude. He's a very, very good quarterback. I mean, a lot of him was spinning around the pocket, and then finally Heath Miller, which I had both of them going in a fantasy league.
Okay.
Which I'm actually not in the finals. I shouldn't have said that. The guy is Chris Johnson, and he gets like 438. He can beat me.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't want to.
Don't jinx it. Yeah.
Okay, but I'm in good shape. Right? He's probably got a 5% chance to beat me right now. But anyway, I think that Roethlisberger's fine. I think Mike Wallace, Antonio Brown had a really bad game. He just fumbled that ball, and that was game over when he was returning that kick. They got it, and he just dropped it. Dwyer is still the main guy, although, Redmond in a run or two. It's regular Pittsburgh. You're not going to sit anybody. Since he does have a good defense, and they're pretty stout. But these
they were kind of off the hook last week.
Well, they were a good fantasy defense, but in the beginning of the game, the Eagles are actually winning. And then that whole fumble touchdown thing, and then Cincinnati kind of pinned back their rears. But they're a good, stout defense. This game will probably be 20-19, 20-17, 23-20 maybe. It's going to be in that range. It's not going to be a big time thing. You're going to start AJ Green, obviously.
Each one of them has to win. Is it a must win for them?
Right, I think it is because Pittsburgh will sweep them if they beat them. They'll have the same record. They'll be 8-7. And then, but then the Jets can get in if they win the next 2 games, so it's a mess.
It is a mess. How about Denver versus Cleveland? Could be an absolute no one cares about this game.
You mean neither team has anything to play? Well, Denver's still trying to get seeding, right? Because they're still competing with New England for that bye.
New England lost tonight, so we're number 2 seed now.
But they don't want to give that back because New England beat them head to head.
So
Denver needs to win.
Oh, they would have locked it up. Okay, got it.
They don't want to give that back.
Okay, good.
They want to buy week.
So I'm going to be at that game.
Yeah, well, I mean,
want to see Peyton
the Browns, they're kind of bad. They've actually been pretty good in the last several games until this week. Kirk Cousins beat beat them. The RG3's backup. But yeah, you're going to start your Broncos. It's really weird. Demaryius Thomas did nothing this week. Eric Decker had a big day. Last week was the exact opposite. So it's kind of,
What about Trent Richardson versus that Denver defense?
It's not great. Trent Richardson somehow looks so good, but yet gets 2.5 yards a carry. How does he do that? How does he pull that off? Breaks tackles, looks like the man is quick, catches passes, but you're like, I don't know if it's that the line is really that bad at run blocking or he just doesn't have good vision. Like he doesn't know where to go. A lot of backs, especially young ones, they'll try to bounce everything outside or they'll try to force things instead of being patient and waiting for the hole to open up and develop. They try to do too much. They don't recognize how it's developing in front of them. And I'm not saying that's the case about him because I haven't watched enough film with just him, but it could be. There's something up with it when he looks so good, but yet he's getting 2.5 yards to carry. He's getting 3.5 or whatever.
So this Denver defense is good. Are you?
Oh, they're very good.
And Trent Richardson he's like a top 5. He's been a top 5 back the last few weeks. Ranked
from touchdowns.
Yeah.
He scores a lot of touchdowns.
Fantasy rankings.
Yeah, because
so are you going to start him?
Yeah, you're going to start Trent Richardson, but I wouldn't expect a huge day from him. I would start him and hope, even in the finals, I would start him. He's a guy who's going to get the carries, he's going to get the goal line looks. No Sean Moreno is the interesting guy.
He's great.
He's a plotter. He doesn't do, but he gets 100 yards and a touchdown every week. They just give him the ball.
I think he's got something to prove now. They demoted him to the practice squad.
He's trying to stay in the league now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He has to
he
step
does what he
up.
has to do. Yeah.
Okay, Chicago and Arizona.
It's ugly. Just gross, this game. Oh, Chicago and Survivor, we could have said they're actually an option in Arizona. It'd be a little crazy. But they are an option.
Yeah. That's actually a very good option.
They're okay. They're both the same team, right? Neither team's offense can do anything, and the defenses are both good.
Did you see Brandon Marshall at the press conference?
No, I didn't.
Poor thing.
He was crying?
He was so upset, yeah.
Okay. Well, that aside, I think that Chicago is just an ugly offense. You start Marshall, Forte's borderline, he's okay. But
he did well fantasy points-wise.
Did he? What did he do?
Oh, yeah, he was up, I think, 17 points in my league.
Really?
It's a half-point PPR.
I don't know. He didn't get the end zone. He gets stuffed every time.
Yeah, he was up to 17 points. He must have caught a lot of passes.
Okay. But he's, it's just not a dynamic offense. I think they're like the 30th ranked offense in per play in the league. Mm-hmm. And then their defense is good, but it just makes for ugly games. And in Arizona, it's 2 teams like that. So you start Marshall, and maybe Forte, and that's it.
Beanie Wells?
3 touchdowns. Listen, week 14 in this one league, with big money, had him on the bench. No, I started in week 14, had David Wilson on my bench. This week, had David Wilson and Beanie Wells on my bench. What can you do? These guys every other week, they're not consistent. But Beanie Wells, you're going to use him. Chicago's running isn't as fast as it used to be, but it's still going to be sketchy. He still only had 20 carries for 67 yards and 3 touchdowns. It's not like he had a lot of...
Man, those Bears went from, 7-1, and now they lost 6 in a row.
They beat up on some bad teams, then they had some defensive injuries. Tim Jennings, one of the corners, was playing very well, got hurt. And so they kind of fell off defensively, and they had a tougher schedule over the last few weeks, too.
Did you see Sean Moreno hurdle Ed Reed?
Yes.
That was so awesome.
Yeah.
The gift that's on the internet about it's just hilarious. Okay, so San Francisco at Seattle. Is this a shootout?
No.
This is defensive.
Well, I don't know. They're not just defensive teams anymore. These teams can play offense.
Hello, Colin Kaepernick.
Right, and Russell Wilson is excellent. Russell is excellent. No, I think this is going to be in the high teens, low 20s. Somewhere between 17 and 23 points for both teams.
Total? No, each. Okay.
Right, somewhere in that range. I don't think it's going to be 10-9 or whatever. It was 13-7 the first before. Something like that. I remember it was a 7-point margin. I had I was laying 7.5 to the Niners, and that safety would have given me.
Oh, right.
But it's somewhere. I think they'll score more. The quarterbacks are better now. They're more polished.
Okay. But what about Crabtree?
Crabtree's becoming a star kind of quietly.
Yeah.
For a team that doesn't throw that much, he gets a lot of targets. He's been getting more red zone targets. Got 2 touchdowns tonight, and he's quick. And I think he came really got a little bit of a foot injury and never really got to practice. And he missed training camps over the summer. Never really got up to speed. People didn't like his attitude. It kind of went downhill. Now he's healthy. He's happy. He's on board, and he's kind of becoming that number 7 overall pick that they envisioned.
Yeah. And then, Wilson. I know Wilson was on a lot of people's benches today.
Oh yeah, and he was up. He would have had a historic quarterback day, like the best quarterback they ever had. The Bills, made him do anything in the second half. Of course, he just handed the ball off, so he didn't do much. First, he had 3 rushing touchdowns, it was 100 yards rushing plus a passing touchdown. He was off to one of those Michael Vick against the Redskins on a Monday night type game.
Yeah.
And he still got 41 points in the standard league. He still was a monster. But it could have been 50 or 60 if Buffalo was scoring also, and he would have had to keep going.
I feel like Kirk Cousins did the Matt Flynn Green Bay Packers from last year. One week start, get signed by another team for $10 million.
That's true.
You know?
But even better, I mean, he's a rookie. This guy came in, beat the Ravens on the stretch, like really clutch, and then goes and beats the Browns on the road against Joe Hayden. Pretty tough pass defense.
He's going to be in Arizona next year.
He's so unproven, but yeah, he played really well. Yeah, I mean, he did. And this rookie draft class is the sickest quarterback class ever. I mean, everybody's just gonna.
I think it's saying a lot about what college football is doing as far as getting these guys prepared. I know that they've been sort of slowly transforming the offenses in college ball.
They're more like pro offenses. They do more pro drills. Mm-hmm. These guys are way more ready, but even so, it's like nothing we've never seen a class like this.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting. And then San Diego and the Jets. At Jets.
Ugly.
Ugly, right?
And San Diego, man, you just don't. I got them right for the third time all year, like against the spread this week. I was ecstatic. They were playing chess, I was playing checkers. You know, they just were stepping ahead of me. Oh, they collapsed 10 weeks in a row. Okay, fine, they better than collapse. Oh, they win. You know, against Pittsburgh, in Pittsburgh. Like, who the hell knows? And I said, they're going to lose to Carolina home. They did. And you can't trust anybody in the Chargers. I mean, the Chargers are like.
Daenerys Alexander, I think.
Nothing. No.
Not one even tenth of a point.
Ryan Matthews, and I feel bad because he got hurt. But on the Yahoo show this morning, they said that we have these over-unders, and they went over some crazy number, like 89.5 on Ryan Matthews, and I said under, and my tagline is, no one's ever gone broke betting on Ryan Matthews to fail. I mean, of course, I feel bad because he got hurt, but, that team, and he's like so emblematic of that team.
I don't know how I made it. I have him in one of my leagues, and I'm in the Super Bowl.